What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake. This is our weekly podcast where we explore the world of nerd from TV, movies, games, comics, news, and books.
We will give you our opinions, theories, and oftentimes spoilers.
We will also have friends and experts as guests on the show to elaborate further on those topics.
But be prepared. We like to have a few drinks, so buckle up.
If you want to support our show, like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
You can also become a premium subscriber over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd.
Welcome, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chad, I hope you had a good week this week. But let's jump into our first topic. But first,
Cheers.
cheers. Yeah. Wow. All right. Whew. We're going to talk about Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, now streaming on Apple TV. Right now, there's only 3 episodes out. By the time this episode of our show comes out, there will be 4 episodes out.
Oh.
It's. What do you think about it?
That's the question, isn't it? No, in all seriousness, I'm liking the show, but it's not spectacular by any means.
So far, anyway.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a couple of cool moments, different Titan monsters that we've gotten a chance to see, which is cool.
And we've got to see the lizard god a couple times.
Yeah.
In the 3 episodes that are out.
Gojira. Yeah, we've seen him a couple of times.
What?
Gojira?
No.
Godzilla?
Godzilla.
It,
Explain. Go ahead. Put your glasses up. Let's go.
No, it's a reference to the old, not as old as the original Godzilla films, but the one with like Matthew Broderick.
Oh.
And there's like an old man in a hospital bed, like talking about, because he witnessed Godzilla and he kept saying, Gojira.
I remember.
Gojira. Yeah. And whoever the actress is like, on the news, they're like, yeah, this new monster, Godzilla. And she's like, he said Gojira, you assholes.
I think that might have just been like a slightly racist, like, accent thing.
That happened in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he was saying Godzilla, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I thought you were about to drop some knowledge. I was like, am I saying it wrong? Is this like a... Anyways. I like the show. It just hasn't like really wowed me so far.
Yeah.
It's been entertaining. I'm enjoying it. I'm just not like... I think, what did I say to you? I'm just not like amped up for the next episode.
Yeah.
Like nothing about it so far has been like, I can't wait till next week to watch the next episode of Monarch.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it right now for the podcast because I love the movies. The movies are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The show, meh.
Yeah. Meh.
So far. Hopefully there'll be more. Godzilla's been really cool, but he's been very just not present. Like when he is there, it's like a 1-minute clip of the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time that you see him, it's like flashbacks from the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I was say we saw him one time in the first episode, where they're all like running and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "It's Godzilla." And then like he's kind of there, but then you don't see him at all in the second episode, and then you see him in the third episode very briefly.
Yeah.
As he's... Which is kind of cool that it's a cool tie back to the movies because it's the footage that they have of Godzilla from like like the old like camera reel that they show of like
Hmm.
other Titans. I think it was Kong Skull Island with Hiddleston, and it was like
Hmm.
the end credit scene. They like show Godzilla swimming through the water or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the clip that they show in this episode, the
and
third
and
episode.
also like which they've tied into the newer Godzilla films, that's why the US was testing uh
Mm,
nuclear weapons like after World War II out in the Pacific.
yeah.
It was like as a way to lure him strong. um and then also, like a different perspective from what they are calling G-Day, when he attacked San Francisco, in the first Godzilla remake
Yeah.
with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen.
Brother and sister married.
As it should be. What?
Wait, what?
Nothing.
The funny thing is that so if you don't get this reference, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen play Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in Marvel. But in the first Godzilla movie that we're talking about in this like franchise, they're husband and wife. But it's funny because in the comics, Quicksilver and Wanda have an incestual relationship.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny. Chad's not actually
No, I don't.
incestual
I don't
that I think.
actually believe in the Sweet Home Alabama. Uh, but what? Back to the show, because I don't know how we move on from that. There are two storylines happening simultaneously, but they're two different timelines as well. One is back in the 1950s. One is, at least when this show is taking place, the 2010s. It's like
Something like
2013,
that, yeah.
2015, something like that. Yeah. Um, which is kind of cool. They do a pretty good job of it, but the the flashback timeline from like the 50s, the first episode takes place in like 1959, and then the second episode is 1952. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
not only are you running a flashback
Jumping
timeline,
around, yeah.
but you're also Tarantinoing that timeline. Like, dude, stop.
What's kind of cool about it is Kurt Russell and his son, Wyatt Russell, play the same character in those timelines, which is really cool. So like the younger
Mm.
version of that character is back in like the 1950s, and then obviously modern day time would be Kurt Russell. And I think that's really cool. I think Ice Cube started it with uh straight out of Compton. But
Not really. I mean, it's been a long time since I've only seen the movie once. Is
I think
Ice Cube actually
what
in it?
no.
Oh,
I was just saying that famous people having kids that look exactly like them so that they can like
play their younger selves.
portray
Yeah.
them in movies. Because now there's rumors that we were going to talk about it later, but since we're on the topic, Dennis Quaid and Jack Quaid may be working on something where they would play a older and younger version of each other. So, but anyways, yes, back to the show. It's cool. It's cool that Wyatt and Kurt play the same character.
Yeah.
Because they look so alike. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the show is fun. I mean, it's interesting because it's more like, it's not so heavily focused on the monsters,
Mm.
more just like the conspiracy of Monarch, which is,
I was gonna say, yeah, it's more about like Monarch like becoming the like main villain of those movies, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. I would suggest the show if you like the other
I
films.
would I would sell this show. It's worth watching. Has it been like mind-blowingly exciting? I would say not yet.
Yeah.
But we're only a few episodes in and maybe something really cool is gonna happen. So,
Yeah. I like it.
yeah.
Oh, do you have anything else to say? Because we kind of like flew through
Nope.
that, but we have a handful of topics to get to after we talk
Yeah.
about our first sponsor, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. We've talked about them for years. They're a great energy drink, 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. If you're not a huge fan of energy drinks, they have a lot else to offer, from pre-workout to protein packed desserts, supplements, everything like that. Listen up, you'll learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about some nerd news. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. Okay, everyone. Now, there's a little bit of nerd news to get into. This first one is a mix of just people on the internet writing articles to try and get a rise out of fans, and then the studio saying the opposite. But I think it might be an interesting thing to bring up, is that there's rumors, which I guess have been debunked,
Maybe.
to now, unless they're just trying to keep it under wraps until it's official, that the Silver Surfer in the upcoming Fantastic Four MCU film is going to be gender swapped, instead of being a male, being a female character. With rumors that Anya Taylor-Joy is being eyed to play the character. What are your thoughts on this, Jake?
Not okay. So I don't. I gotta word myself right here so I don't be offensive. I think it's dumb. Um, but
I need to try not to be offensive. Dumb. I'm just
it's
kidding.
dumb. But I thought you and I talked off camera a little bit about it, and I thought that if they wanted to do that, I think that just totally gender swapping is a bad idea. But if you wanted to do like a something like a non-binary, or like that species is,
Yeah, something like gender neutral.
because like in the comics, Silver Surfer doesn't wear clothes, totally naked. He's in the comics. I can call him a he because he is a he, I guess, but he has no genitalia. Um, so if you wanted to like do something like that and like go for it, cool. I'm on board with that. But like making the character a character that has been a male character for a very long time, uh, or forever since its creation,
Mm-hmm.
and then just being like, oh, it's a girl now. I don't like that. So I don't like, again, I'm really not good at this. I'm not as good as you are about this.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, you mentioned that we talked about this off camera. It's not the gender swapping that we have an issue with, because
yeah.
in some instances it creates for a really cool story opportunity.
Hmm.
In other instances, it just doesn't affect the character in any way. I just feel like something like this, to do a full gender swap, just doesn't feel authentic and like you're doing respect to the character.
Hmm.
I I didn't even think about the gender neutral or doing like a non-binary sort of thing like you had brought up,
Yeah.
um, which I think could create a cool narrative or at
Hmm.
least an interesting character arc and storyline. I just think just this is one of those instances where like gender swapping for the sake of gender swapping like
Yeah.
hurts the character. I've got no problem like I mean you and I have both been sailing, bring back Daphne Keene to be Wolverine. Like that's awesome. We've seen a female version of Wolverine in the past, with the Silver Surfer, like maybe don't in this
Yeah.
instance, but like I'm
It's,
open to
but
other
it's
things.
also tough because you and I have been huge advocates for um, like making the Little Mermaid, black. And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is great. If anybody has a problem with this, you're a dick. And now we're like, I don't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
but
kind of
in
like,
that instance, like that doesn't affect the character. Like
yeah,
in the history of the Silver Surfer, like their motivation is because their family was killed, uh,
mm,
his wife and kids were killed.
yeah.
That's why he's out for vengeance.
Actually,
You
he
know,
works as a slave for the person who killed his family because he doesn't want it to happen to other people. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I think, but along those lines, like there's a time and a place. Like some
yeah,
characters, by doing that, isn't going to affect the character nearly as
yeah.
much.
It's tough. It's a tough topic to talk about because
Well, because one,
we're
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 huge allies.
I was gonna like we're super supportive, but it's like when I was a kid, I loved Silver Surfer. And
Yeah,
like they just they just made him such a lame character in the first Fantastic Four movie. And if they just go so far off base in the next one, like the reboot, it's like, oh, come on. I
yeah.
just want to get a comic accurate
It's like
Silver Surfer.
balancing like the history of the fandom, but also appreciating like opportunities for more diverse inclusivity.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that I'll say about Marvel, which is really cool. If you and I both watched that Stan Lee documentary, and
Mm-hmm.
any of you can go watch it. It's on, what was that on? Had to have been Disney
Think Disney
Plus.
Plus, yeah.
Had to have been.
If not, it's
But
on Netflix.
there are so many female characters, male characters, gay characters. There's like so much source material that you don't have to change shit to make it fit like what today's I don't want to say standards. Today's
Just world looks like.
yeah. Yeah. Like there are plenty of opportunities for female heroes, female villains, uh gay heroes, gay villains. Like if you have read any of since the 60s and 70s, one of the one of the very first Green Lanterns was gay. You know what I
The
mean? Like
first Green Lantern was
you don't
gay.
you don't have to gender swap main characters to bring in
To have that inclusivity. Yeah.
that's the word I was looking for, inclusivity. Yeah. You don't have to do that. Like you can just make the characters that are already there that have that and make them main characters. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I
that's
don't
how we
know.
got the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were
Yeah.
like a D class comic book group,
Hmm.
and it's one of the best selling films, one of the most popular superhero team ups, like to date now because of the films.
To date, right now, the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie is still my favorite Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And also with like What If season 2 coming out, they're because they wanted to see a certain character instead of just like completely changing a superhero, they created one. It's
hmm
still Marvel Comics or Marvel Studios, whatever.
MCU, just Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, yeah, but like they're creating new characters that we can see more of
hmm
to fit a narrative, which is really cool. I mean, look at Namor or Namor. Like changing little things about his backstory, but not changing the character worked really well. It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, until he sexually assaulted somebody, and then now he's.
We're not. That was not my best
I,
example I could have came up with. I apologize, but like that still is an example of like changing the character's like backstory to
mm,
fit having you know a more diverse cast,
oh,
which was cool.
okay,
Will
we
I
gotta move on.
will I be mad if they make a female Silver Surfer?
No.
No, but
If they do it well, that's the thing. That's what you and I have been saying this for years now.
yeah,
Like, if you do a lead female character well, who gives a shit? If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. Um, but
yeah,
it just doesn't seem to make sense to me to gender swap that. Um, but whatever. Um, we're gonna move on because we have a lot of
yeah.
nerd news to get through. The other one is, and we don't know much about it right now. But the Captain America 4 movie, I don't know if it's like the script or whatever has been released to Marvel, and Marvel is not happy with it. They're like, this is garbage. And that totally sucks because that means rewrites and reshoots and uh probably a delay, like, so.
Yeah. I mean, they were already doing reshoots, and it sounds like it's still not lining up with what they
Yeah.
want.
They're struggling right now because even with the Blade movie, they fired everybody and started from scratch.
Yeah.
Like they like wrote it out, like started putting it together, and then they read it and were like, "This is trash," and then fired everyone that was working on it, hired new people, and are now just like right now starting to rewrite it. Like, and it's like, fuck.
It's probably because they weren't paying people what they were worth for a long time.
What?
So hopefully, with the end of the strike, that means that we're going to get better quality because people are working on it are going to be like, oh, I'm getting paid what I'm worth. Let me
Yeah,
put effort into this instead of let me try and get this done so I can pick up 3 more projects and try
right.
and pay rent.
Start doing like crap movies and yeah.
Sharknado 17. Uh,
Don't
also,
you dare. I'm just kidding.
we saw that Patrick Schwarzenegger is being eyed to be playing Hal Jordan in The Lanterns from James Gunn's DC EU, DCU, DC Hullabaloo. What I don't know what they're calling it anymore. Which I was a little confused on because I thought that they wanted to have like an older Hal Jordan to train in
But
like
that
John Stewart,
so
but this dude's like 20.
but the original plan was to have an older Hal Jordan training in John Stewart. That was before James Gunn took over. But now he's got Nathan Fillion playing um the older version of Green Lantern training in Hal Jordan. And this would be Hal Jordan's character. And if you don't know who well, obviously you know by the last name Schwarzenegger, but this is the guy who plays Golden Boy, right? In Gen
Yeah.
V. Yeah. He looks the part. I don't know enough about him cinematically to say
Have
whether I can sink or sail him as he looks it. He was in like an episode of Gen V, so I don't know if maybe he's a good actor. I don't know. But sure, let's go.
yeah. Now that I know, I, you're the one
The
that
J
told me that they're like, well, they're changing it. So
Yeah. There James Gunn's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. So if you're a fan, you either ex accept it or you don't. And I don't know what to do with it.
yeah.
I'm not super excited about no pun intended. Uh about the changes that they've made. Um the biggest one obviously being Henry Cavill. Um but I mean I've seen pictures of what's corn sweat or whatever.
Hmm.
Uh he does look like Superman. Like he looks like that's the thing. He just looks like a maybe 5 to 7 year difference in age from Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like there's like a picture of him like getting like like swole for the role, and he's got a hat on and he's got his like brown curly hair sticking out the back, and it's like you look like Henry Cavill.
Yeah. He looks like Man of
Good,
Steel
yeah,
Henry Cavill, you know,
good job,
10
good
years
job,
ago.
James Gunn. So I don't know. I mean, I'm annoyed by it, but I'm gonna keep a positive attitude about it because, you know, I love I love all this shit.
Yeah. And as much as we're bitching, what James Gunn puts out, I tend to enjoy. But
Mostly.
speaking of James Gunn's Superman, I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
That's okay.
Skylar Gisondo, I don't know if I'm saying that
Oh yeah.
correctly. You would recognize this young dude from the latest like vacation film with Ed Helms. Um,
Santa Clarita Diet with Timothy Olyphant and Drew Barrymore. That's on Netflix.
and then also, if you liked the TV show Psych, he played young Sean Spencer in some of the later seasons. But he has been cast as Jimmy Olsen for Superman Legacy, which is
Hmm.
pretty awesome. And also, it's not 100% confirmed, but it's kind of like the top running choice right now for Lex Luthor is Nicholas Holt.
No, it's confirmed.
Oh, it is confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's his name? John Cryer, who played Lex Luthor in the like Arrowverse for the CW.
okay.
He even tweeted out to Nicholas Holt and gave him like a nod of approval, like kill it, you're gonna kill it. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So no, that's confirmed. He's definitely Lex Luthor.
And it blows my mind the number of people that are just like mad about this.
Yeah, he looks. I think. Well, here's what I think. The here, let me fix my microphone. Uh, so here's what I think. I fucking love Superman. So like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna set it straight a little bit. I think the what happened is that, or what got lost in translation between the comic books and the original movies, the 70s movies with Christopher Reeve, is there's this huge age gap in the comics, Clark and Lex are only a couple years apart. They grew up together. They're friends.
Hmm.
And then they put out the 1970s movies with Christopher Reeve, who was very young. And then Lex Luthor in those movies was Gene Hackman, who was significantly older than
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve. So then that was where everybody like, because those movies were very popular back then, and so everybody like set this tone for what Lex Luthor was supposed to be. And I think, and I know I talk about it all the time because it's one of my favorite shows, but they didn't get it right until Smallville.
Yeah.
Smallville definitely nailed that. We're only a couple years apart. We grew up very close to each other, and they were best friends growing up, Lex and Clark. That's how it was in the comics. That's how it should have been. And in those movies, they didn't do that. So, circling back here, Corn Sweat and Nicholas Holt are very close in age. They're both very young. And I think that's what they're aiming for is to get that accurate. And we know that that's what James Gunn does. He like
Yeah.
takes references from the comics and like makes it pretty freaking spot on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said free. I have a kid now, so like maybe I'm watching my mouth a little better, but he gets it pretty fucking spot on. So, um, I think this is a really good casting. I love Nicholas Hoult. We've seen him bald in what was it? The fucking Doomsday or whatever. The goddamn Mad Max Fury Road. We've seen him
Oh
bald.
yeah.
He can rock a bald head pretty good. Put a suit on that guy. He's I think this is really, really good casting. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. One
I
of the
think it
things
looks
that I found super hilarious is that everyone's like, he's not a lead actor. He's always good. He's only good as like a supporting role. And they point out like the people online are pointing out like things where he fucking kills it as like a supporting actor. And they're like, I can't believe that they would cast him to be a supporting actor in a Superman movie. And I was like, what? Like,
yeah. It's not a Lex
it's not
Luthor
called
movie.
Lex Luthor. It's called Superman, which means that he might be the antagonist lead.
One of the antagonists. The rumor is that Brainiac. Oh God. Oh, I should have looked this up. I'm sorry.
But
Brainiac is the main.
along those lines, I mean, one, it's a great way to introduce him,
Yeah.
where he's not like the number one baddie.
Oh, he a baddie though.
But like he's not the solo lead. Like he still is considered like a lead actor, but he's in a supporting role. So all the people that are like, "Oh, he's just not like lead material." I was like, "Yeah, he's not Superman."
They're
And
like
he's a great actor.
three different. They're like three different villains in this movie, including Nicholas Hoult, which is fucking dope
Yeah.
because yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
So,
I'm excited. I like this casting. I think even when he was being rumored as being looked at for Superman, you and I both said maybe Lex Luthor,
yeah,
and I'm stoked on it. I like this idea. Um,
I I think we were just both so butthurt about Henry Cavill not being Superman anymore that like I just didn't want to let myself believe that somebody else could play Superman.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I still kind of feel that way, but I don't. This kid looks. I mean, he just looks like a younger Henry Cavill. So I mean,
yeah,
sure, as long as you can act, like let's go. I haven't seen much with this dude. I think we've talked about it before. He's in some TV drama bullshit, but I don't know.
yeah.
Okay, so we skipped a little bit. Give us the pirates thing.
Yeah,
Oh
Johnny.
no, I'm sorry.
I
Scream
was
first.
okay. I just don't want
I
to
missed
spend a
it.
lot of time on this because I feel like we spent a lot of time on the Silver Surfer thing. So the next couple bits, I think we should try and go over quickly. But Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera both are out of Scream 7. Most notably,
Different reasons. I said different reasons.
yeah, Melissa Barrera was dropped from Scream 7 because of her very public support of Palestine during this new awakened conflict, new
Mm.
publicized conflict that's been going on for hundreds of years, but now there's much more public war crimes being committed.
Hmm.
Um, and it's not even Palestine. It's Hamas. So that's fucked. But she was asked to step down, and then she doubled down on her support, and we salute you, Melissa
Yeah.
Barrera.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Hmm.
And then Jenna Ortega, just a couple days later, also stepped down because of scheduling conflicts. And I think,
But Jenna Ortega has been very audible about supporting Melissa. So
yeah,
I assume it's the same thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Either she stepped away from the role because she was like, "Oh, you fired her? Bet I'm done."
yeah,
Or they asked her to leave too. I don't know. But I know that the production company was like, "Oh, we fucked up." And so they replaced the two of them with Palestinian actresses. Which is like, but you fired the first act Melissa for supporting Palestine.
yeah.
So
It's
it
now like
just
an
looks
overcorrection.
it just makes you look worse. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? We could talk about it a lot, but
Oh,
like you said,
and
we
you and
gotta
I have talked about this in great
uh,
lengths. I have caused rifts in friendships and family about this conversation, but that's not what this podcast is. So we need to move on.
Creed.
Yeah, Creed 4 is in the works, which is pretty awesome. It's being directed and produced by Michael B. Jordan. And because he is the one producing it, Sly said that he might come back as long as some of the creative minds from Creed 3 don't.
Yeah, if you've seen Creed 3, you know that Sylvester Stallone was not in it, and that was because there were certain people that were attached to the project that had creative differences with Sly, which is really annoying because Sly built that franchise like from the
Yeah.
ground up. Uh, how he did it, we won't talk about. Uh,
The Italian
just
Stallion.
it's like look up Italian Stallion. Uh,
Brown chicken, brown cow.
and now there's been rumors that he has said, well, not rumors, he has said himself that if the people that were attached to the third movie are not still attached, he will come back. So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get a Creed and Rocky reunion in the fourth movie. That would be dope.
I would love that.
Everybody would love that. This is a fucking branch off of the Rocky movies. I grew up on the raunchy movies.
Oh, so you grew up on the Italian Stallion. What's up?
I don't even want to say the other part now.
Yeah.
I used to watch the Rocky movies, not the raunchy movies. I used to watch the Rocky movies
Watch
with
the
my
raunchy
dad when I
ones
was a
now.
little kid.
What?
Um, but yeah, I grew up on those movies, so I hope they figure that shit out.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we're still skipping one thing, but kind of pressed for time. But Beyond the Spider Verse, the storyboarding and some base animations complete.
What do we skip?
Pirates.
Oh,
Um,
well, Johnny Depp is reportedly back. There we go. We
cool.
didn't skip it.
But Beyond the Spider Verse is basically just waiting for the voice actors to come in to do that, so they can finalize the animation. Obviously, the writer's strike, the actor's strike, delayed everything because
Yeah,
we were supposed to get that late next year,
yeah.
but
It got
it'll
a
probably be.
it got a little spicy out there. And
Oh,
speaking of
what else is
spicy,
spicy?
speaking of spicy, our sponsor number two spot is Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Listen up, we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods. adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, friends, we are going to talk about episode 4 of season 2 of Invincible. This is the mid-season finale, and there is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, get the fuck out of here. Come back later. That's enough time. Holy fucking shit. We know at the end of episode 3, Mark is reunited with his dad, Omni-Man. And in this episode, holy balls. The show, like, never disappoints.
It doesn't. And, like, Mark is pissed, rightfully so. You know, he's like, constantly tells his dad, you know, like, fuck you, fuck off.
Yeah.
Fucking die. Like,
but you know what was cool about it? Or like, so both you and I have said that we don't want, we'll get into it in a sec here. We don't want Omni-Man to be a redeemable character, right?
right.
But there's like a subtle thing that I noticed. And maybe it's not so subtle. I just think it's subtle. But it's literally like the opening scene of this episode. Mark is like standing there and he sees his dad. And he's pissed. Mark is pissed. And he like clenches his fists. And when he clenches his fists, his dad clenches his fists too. Like, okay, let's go. Yeah. So he's not, I don't think he is necessarily redeemable or gonna be redeemed because he's still a piece of shit. Like, he wasn't, at any point, he wasn't gonna be like, I deserve it if he punches me. Like, he was like, no, I'm gonna fucking fuck this dude up if he does a swing at me.
You want to fuck around and find out, Mark? Yeah. Again?
So it definitely was. It's a very short scene, but if you notice, it's very like Arthur.
For some reason,
took you a sec, but
yeah, because I immediately was thinking like pulling the sword from the stone, like King Arthur, and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, the aardvark. Yeah. That wears his headphones on the side of his face, even though his ears are up here. Yeah, that guy.
But yeah, so right away they kind of show you that he's not totally remorseful for what he did. Because he was about ready to beat his son's ass again.
Again.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's super fucked is it's the only reason that he calls Mark there to help him is because he has a new family. Like, hey, you need a help. Yeah. Because this is my wife.
Oh, it's so awkward.
Yeah, because they're like bug people. And this is your little
brother.
Yeah.
Which confirms the talk we had last week about other Viltrumites being born, like half-breeds.
Yeah.
Being born on other planets that could help fight the Viltrumites.
Yeah.
Which is what Alan the alien was saying. He's like, Mark's not like that. And if there's other half-breeds out there that are like Mark, like, we could fight the Viltrumites. And now we know
that that's
others. 100% what's happening. So,
yeah. Whether really that's going to be a successful plot point and option is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Because Viltrumites do show up, and I guess we'll get to that in a second. But like the entire time, you know, like Mark meets, I guess, his stepmom. You know, weird. Because he even like calls out his dad. He's like, that kid is older than 6 months old. Like, the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, because these species age much, much faster. That's why. Still weird, man. Like, yeah. Omni-Man just like boned down.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But he did it with a subspecies, which is not something that Viltrumites do. They are only supposed to breed with like genetic species.
Yeah.
Um, so that's like a big part when the other Viltrumites come, because
Yeah, because they're they're not supposed to. They're really not even supposed to like crossbreed. But if they do, it's supposed to be with other like like you were saying, like
yeah,
more genetically similar
yeah.
species. Um and is it three or it's three Viltrumites that show up? It's the same three that attacked Alan.
Yeah, it is three. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And
because they fight the one and they fight the one guy and he's like, there's two more. Yeah, so it's three.
yeah.
Yep.
But Mark, being the hero that he is you know, recognizes that it's not, I guess, his stepmom's fault or the baby's fault.
That was a cool part because he's like, his dad basically asks him for help and he's like, fuck you. Like, I'm not helping you. Like, go fuck yourself. And he like goes to like take off and his dad's like, you don't even know the way home. Like,
Yeah,
like just stop and let me talk to you. And he finally goes, why should I care about these people? And his dad's like, I know you do. And he goes, fine, I'll help them, but I'm doing it for them, not for you.
yeah,
And yeah, and then where you were going with that, sorry.
yeah. And you know, three Viltrumites show up. So Mark takes his stepmom and half brother and
Hmm.
flies them off to like a refuge cave, basically, and does everything that he can to try and protect them.
He gets slapped silly, dude.
Oh,
Oh my God. The guy who uses one finger and is just shoving Mark's head through the fucking ground of the
oh my
cave. It was
god.
like, holy shit, dude. The Viltrumites are much, much stronger. Mark's half. But I don't know because I haven't read the comic. We talked about this too. We haven't read the comics because I don't want to ruin anything now that I've watched the show without reading the comics.
Hmm.
Um, but I wonder if Mark's gonna get stronger as he's like getting older because his powers didn't develop
Until he was
until
like
later.
18.
So
Yeah.
like they may still be developing. So like maybe he will get stronger, but I'm phrasing everything like a question.
Because it's interesting. They
So
very
I'm
well
curious about
might.
that. Yeah.
And we also know and learned in this episode that kind of like Spider Man, he pulls his punches.
Hmm.
You know, he like holds himself back because he doesn't want to kill. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to, especially, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with what happened at the end of season one when he fights his dad. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that ruthless. So
Yeah.
he's very reserved. But then there is a cool moment with him and Omni Man, his dad, where Omni Man's like, they're not going to hold back. You can't hold back. If you hold back, we all die.
Hmm.
He's like, so either fight to survive or we're all dead. Your choice. Which also kind of leads into the Omni Man hasn't been reformed. I don't think he's been redeemed because he's like, you still got to fucking fight to kill.
Well, yeah.
But when Mark starts opening up, holy fucking shit.
Yeah. He puts the smackdown on that chick for a while, and then
Yeah.
he kind of lets his guard down and not good.
Yeah, because he like loses focus. He like sees that his dad's getting hit hard. He starts seeing the dead bodies of all these. I think they were called like thoraxins.
Jackson, yeah.
Um, just a moment on that. That's kind of lazy writing to write an entire species called Thoraxins, where they're bug people, where their core is called a thorax. But whatever, made sense. That's all I want to say about it. But he sees all the dead Thoraxins and stuff like that. So I think it wasn't that he lets up. It's just that he gets like distracted by
Yeah.
seeing how fucking terrible the Viltrumites are. Like he thought his dad was awful, and then he saw how quickly 3 Viltrumites just like decimated a planet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. Mark ends up getting stabbed. Um, he's fucked up.
Right in the belly.
Omni-Man gets fucking Bruce Lee right in the back. Um, what? What?
Just
What?
oh, the insensitivity level there, bud.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh fuck, bud.
Oh, yeah. So is it, I mean the episode kind of ends with the Viltrumites telling Mark like, "Hey, we're gonna kill your dad. That's inevitable, and then we're gonna come to Earth and we're gonna kill everybody there. You're basically gonna take your dad's place on Earth. If you don't do that, we'll kill you too." And
Well, they even said like, "Hey, you can kill a handful of people to get people to submit
yeah,
to us taking over,
or we'll kill
or
millions.
we'll kill millions."
Which is kind of dope because that's literally what Feora says to uh Clark, Superman in Man of Steel. She goes, "For every human you save, we will kill a million."
Yeah.
Yeah. It was dope. It was dope. Oh, it's so good. God damn it, this show's so fucking good. Anyways, that's kind of where we leave us. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, during this, we do. I don't want to get into details of it, but we do see more of Debbie, his mom, trying to put her life back together. We also see Donald now questioning everything
Oh, that's
because he's
right,
like
yeah.
he's not even a clone, he's a robot.
Yeah.
Like he takes out a pocket knife, stabs himself in the wrist to like make himself bleed, and then sees blood and goes, "Oh, thank God." And then looks at the knife and it's like crumpled at the tip.
He's definitely Agent Coulson in fucking
The later seasons of Shield, Agents of
yeah.
Shield, yeah. He's a life model decoy, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah, that was cool. Um
And then we get
yeah.
a little bit more of Adam Eve, like really questioning where she belongs.
Yeah.
But fuck, dude, this show is so good.
There was one thing at the end of it, because Mark's mom, uh, puts all of Omni-Man's books in the boxes
Yeah.
and puts them out at the curb. And as Omni-Man's getting like taken away to the Viltrumites to get executed, he tells Mark, "Read my books. Read the books. Like it's important. You got to read the books."
Yeah.
And
But
so there's something there.
his books are like science fiction.
Yeah.
You know,
But
because
they're
he didn't want everyone to know that Nolan Grayson was Omni
exactly.
Man.
So I'm like science fiction.
Yeah.
They're probably like real.
It's
Yeah.
or my guess is that it's like how to destroy the Viltrumites.
Maybe.
Like
We'll see.
plot points and stuff like that to help Mark overcome this.
Hmm. We'll see. We will see. The plan is to not make us wait as long as they did. We'll get a season a year.
Well, season
Um,
3, other than like mouth animation, it's done,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
they've already finished the voiceover work and the baseline
Hmm.
animation. So Yeah, that's oh, this show is so fucking good, man.
They just I realized how long it had been since first season to this season because Nicole watched the first season while we were in New York. That was like 2 years ago.
And we had already finished
Yeah,
talking about season 1
yeah.
before we went to New
So
York
they
in
took
2021.
forever to put out season two. So, but they, like I said, they said that the plan is to put out one season per year. They're gonna just start pumping
Yeah.
them out.
And it's Robert Kirkman, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
He said that I saw a clip where, like you said, the goal is like one a year. He's like, can we keep that? I don't know, but it's gonna be close,
Hmm.
So might be like spring one year, fall the next year,
Yeah.
but like within like
As long as
a year
it's
and a half
once in a year. Yeah.
instead of 2.5 years. Do you have any final things you want to say about this episode or just the show in
No,
general?
nope, nope. I want people to watch it for themselves, and yeah, we're good.
Fantastic. Yeah, the show's bloody. It's great. I love it. Go watch. Those are my final words.
Dope.
Okay, let's close out this episode. However, before we close out this episode, we do have some honorable mentions. I know I did that because I didn't want to take away your but before we do. Uh, do you want me to take it from the
No,
top?
roll with it.
Because if you said yes, I wasn't gonna cut any of that beforehand, anyways. But what do you have, Jake, for some honorable mentions this past week? What have you been
This
watching?
this week, Nicole and I have been watching the Planet of the Apes movies, in anticipation for the new one coming out. Um, I forgot how much I really enjoyed those movies.
I love
They're
those
actually
films.
really good. The first one's a little slow, so if you haven't seen them, don't judge the other two movies based on the first movie. The first movie is kind of like a build up to um Caesar taking his place as the leader of the apes, but the next two movies are pretty fucking wild actually.
Yeah,
So sit through the first one. It's still very enjoyable, but the next two are pretty action packed.
yeah.
That's all I got. That's what we watched this week.
Well, what about the Disney Pixar film about emotions?
Oh god damn. I mean I put it on for my kid. I was kind of halfway paying attention to
You
it.
told
Uh
me how much you
in
cried.
I didn't
I'm
cry. It's
kidding.
just super sad.
It
We
is
watched
very sad.
I put on Inside Out, and it's a very sad movie, and it's like I don't want to I'm not going to go into it. If you know, you know. If you don't, watch it and you'll know. How about you? You
Oh,
dick.
thanks. Uh, because we talked about the new anime series for Scott Pilgrim takes off. I went back and rewatched Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the live action film, which is, I mean, it's super enjoyable. But after like rewatching this movie after watching the anime, you enjoy it a little bit more, I think, because they reference the movie a lot during the show,
Hmm.
which is pretty great. And then, I mean, I watched The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Yeah, you started that whole trilogy over, didn't you?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that time of year. I guess of the versions that I have that I own, um, The Two Towers is the only one that I have the director's cut on. So like I watched The Fellowship and I was like, just as I remembered. And then I pressed play on The Two Towers and I was like, this one says it's 4 hours long. I was like, this one's different. This is not what I'm in the mood for. So it took me a couple of days to get through it. And then I continued watching Silo. I started watching it when it first came out on Apple TV Plus. And then after a couple episodes, I was like, meh. And I was like, well, I'll continue.
Nicole finished it. She liked it.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. Um, it's not where I thought it was going, at least not at the pace I thought it would get to where I thought it was going to go. But it's good.
Yeah.
So that's what I have. Well, for our listeners, if you stuck around this long, I mean, congratulations. Thank you. Um, if you would like to support the show, what should they do, Jake?
Th there's like a thing on here where you can like just give us your money.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's through buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a monthly subscription. So you give us your money monthly. It's pretty great. But in all seriousness, you get a lot of like behind the scenes, bonus content, member exclusive merch, and more depending on the level that you give at. That's a great way to support the show. We don't pocket anything. Everything goes back into the podcast, which is pretty awesome. If you don't want to give on a monthly basis, we totally get it, but lame. You can always go to allthingsnerdpodcast.com and pick something up from our merch store. So it's like a one-time payment, but you still get something out of it. So like, yay, you get something. And if you don't want to do that, still lame, but we get it. Like, share, and subscribe the show wherever you watch or listen. That honestly does the most, but we still would like your money in a non-greedy way because we have other people working on this project that we want to pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that being said, didn't quite say the right thing. We love you. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.